Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Trail Mix, where the nuts might be a little stale, but the company is always fresh.
Craig Crawford here, retired journalist working for nothing but the truth and Social Security checks, and here again with my good friend Jamie.
Hello, everybody.
Well, I'll go ahead and put the House of Representatives on the stage. There they are. They've been at it since about 12:30. They've been giving speeches on whether or not to vote to release the Epstein files, but it looks like it's going to pass for sure. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and the head weasel who tried everything in his power to stop it is not happy.
Yeah, and I was listening to him earlier today. Here's some what he was saying. He's taking a new tack here that the Trump side in this Epstein case have not heard before, and it'll be familiar to you. I'll tell you.
Justice had the files the entire time, and not a single one of the people who are so loud and animated right now, they never said anything about it for all those 4 years. None of them held press conferences. None of them demanded the release of the documents. And under Biden's DOJ, when they prosecuted just Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, not a single one of these Democrats or any of the proponents of the discharge ever made any noise about that at all. So it's fair for the American people to ask the question, why now?
So that's a big part of their argument today now is that that the Biden didn't release them, which is true, but kind of irrelevant. But anyway, the answer to that is that the DOJ policy, and you remember our conversations with my lawyer cousin, former federal prosecutor Carolyn, the DOJ policy was that if there's an ongoing trial, which there was with Maxwell and her appeals, that you don't release the underlying FBI investigations of that case, of that trial. So that's why but the other reason Biden did is he didn't campaign on promising to release them. That's the other difference. But that's a big one I'm hearing today is they're doing the old whataboutism is, why weren't Democrats hollering for this during the Biden years?
Well, did you see the link I posted to the old article I wrote back in 2016 when the trail had just barely survived the wars?
Yeah. So, I mean,
definitely something in the more things change, the more they remain the same category.
Yeah, I liked this. I found Blue put this up. This thing from Epstein's brother,
right,
was really interesting. Now, for some reason, it's not letting me put it on the stage. Oh, I see.
Well, the question is,
I'll get the hang of this thing eventually.
Yeah, why hasn't he testified before them? Has he not been called?
His brothers had a lot to say, and you're right. I mean, I've not seen anybody call him. You don't even see a lot of interviews. I mean, actually, the main interview that he did now this was in News Nation this week, but until then, Australian TV had done most of the interviews with him. But he's saying here the reason they're going to be releasing these things, the reason for the flip is that they're sanitizing these files. There is a facility in Winchester, Virginia, where they're scrubbing the files to take Republican names out. Now, whenever somebody like him, now how does he know there's a facility in Winchester, Virginia? That makes me suspicious when I hear somebody that
when is he just passing along a conspiracy theory, or does he really know something? Somebody has to ask him those questions.
Yeah, but I mean that gives everybody something to chew on there.
I mean, that is pretty specific.
Yeah, when it gets down to it's in Winchester, Virginia. But then Marjorie got up earlier. Let's see, we got her on.
Of the federal government and Congress to the American people.
This is about an hour ago.
That is what people rose up about in 2024. They wanted and demanded transparency from their government and for Americans finally to be put first. And today, with this vote, we are finally putting these victims and these survivors of Jeffrey Epstein and the cabal of rich, powerful elites that expands not just here in the United States of America, but to other countries as well. We're putting them last. And that is exactly what Americans want. You see, for far too long, Americans have been put last. And they're sick of it. They're sick and tired of it. And this is why they don't trust Congress. This is why they don't trust the government. And here's the problem. All of these women who have suffered in shame for years and years and years, women who were terrified, women who were intimidated, women who were threatened, just like Virginia Giuffre. And now she's dead. And these women should have never faced that.
Now, is this the piece you're talking about that you put up here?
One moment. Let me get over there. Yes, that's the one I'm talking about.
Now, what is this?
That it was written in 2016, right after the election of Trump.
Uh-huh.
And uh-huh.
I just finished reading the Century Trilogy by Ken Follett. It is a wonderful historical series of historical novels that takes one extended family over the 100 years. And if we go to there's your site.
Uh-huh.
Now, do you keep this up to date, or what is this?
I just started getting back to it. I had sort of let it lapse, and I'm trying to keep my hand in again writing. But it was misbehaving today.
Is this on WordPress? Oh yeah, WordPress could be tricky.
I have one on WordPress and one on Blogger.
You got a little Shakespeare in here.
Yeah.
So it's Jamie's Place.
Jamie's
WordPress.com. What's that?
I said, yeah, that's the name of it. And then I have over on Blogger, I've got Durward Discussion, but that one's mainly family stuff. This is where I do the more creative writing.
So it's Jamie's Place.wordpress.com. Yeah, keeping these, keeping those things feed.
Yeah, I don't know if it was part of that glitch that went on this morning, but it wouldn't let me post something at the beginning. You know, it's as if it were today. It wouldn't come in at the top. So I have to contact WordPress and find out if I'm doing something wrong or.
Yeah, it might have been that glitch that I got caught in that glitch myself this morning, but they seem to have fixed it. Here's Raskin.
And the Epstein file must be released. Moreover, if the president is serious about what he's saying, he's got the power to release the Epstein file right now.
Yeah.
Nobody's stopping him.
They keep overlooking that. I mean, all the whataboutism and everything else they say.
And he can redact the names of the victims.
Just shut up and release the files.
Who are innocent
what's the problem?
in this process.
No, and let the chips fall where they may. Okay, some names may come up that did absolutely nothing wrong. They were just vaguely associated business.
These are unspeakable evils. Well, because of the bravery and the invincible courage of the women who've joined us today, they're no longer unspeakable. They're spoken. They're articulated. The cat is out of the bag, and we know what's been going on for decades. It's been a double standard of justice, going all the way back to Alex Acosta, who later got rewarded with a cabinet appointment in the Trump administration. Alex Acosta had a 60-count federal indictment ready to go against all kinds of people for an interstate sex trafficking conspiracy with solicitation, with child sex abuse, all of it. And he traded that 60-count federal indictment for 1 count in state court. And Jeffrey Epstein ended up getting the sweetest of sweetheart deals ever on the plea bargain front. He was
and the guy who did the deal got in Trump's cabinet
to do whatever he wanted and continuing to perpetrate his crimes.
And people are still wondering if Epstein really did do himself
in jail. And it was over in about a year.
Yeah.
After the rape and sexual abuse of hundreds and hundreds of girls, and he kept going, and he kept at it. We want the whole truth to come out. This is the United States of America.
Oh, we got some comments
Even the
over
British
here.
monarchy wouldn't put up with this. How about the American democracy? How about we say, no way, we're not going to allow this cover-up to go on for one day more.
Make them big enough.
And I'm glad the president changed his mind after pulling out all the stops to try to get one of our Republican colleagues to change their mind, to remove their name from the discharge petition. He gave up. And I want to salute the gentlelady from Colorado
Thomas
from having the courage
saying
to
hi.
stand
Hello.
her ground in the Situation Room
Thomas,
in the White House.
join us.
No, she wasn't going to be bullied.
Right here in chat.
No. So
I'll put the
I'm
link
glad the president
on
changed
here
his
again.
mind. But let's be clear, Mr. President, you've got the power today to release the entire file. That's what you called for. That's what Pam Bondi called for. That's what Kash Patel called for. So we don't need anybody calling for the Senate to slow things down.
Here's
for
the
more
link,
weeks
folks.
and more
If you
months.
want to come
The
on here
American
and talk
people
to
have had
us.
it. We'll
But
reserve.
anyway, we got
Gentleman reserves. Gentleman is
I'll
reminded
just
to
do
direct
first
your
names.
comments to
Tom-
the chair and not your colleagues. Gentleman from Ohio
Thomas
is
says
recognized,
hi.
and
All
you
right.
do have 90
Jipper
seconds remaining.
says,
Correct.
glad she
Thank you, Mr.
left
Speaker. I yield
MAGA.
30 seconds to the gentleman from Texas.
You
Gentleman
know,
from
I don't
Texas
know
is
that
recognized.
Marjorie's
The
left
Democrat Party,
MAGA
with help from the
necessarily.
dishonest media, used the Epstein files.
I don't
not
think
to
she's
seek justice from the
changed
victim,
many of her
for the victim, but to
positions.
support
I think
President
she
Trump.
just
And it's sick
may
to
be
fight
putting
this.
a little bit
The
of
Democrats
distance
use the
between
Epstein
herself
files
and
to
crazy.
from the wins
Yeah,
President Trump and his administration have
and
delivered
Trump.
for the
So
American people for the last 11 months.
I think she's.
I'm proud
I
to
think it's
work
more
with
like
my
she's
Republican
left Trump
colleagues on the House
than
Oversight
MAGA.
Committee in
Right.
coordination with Justice
Oh,
Department.
look at the baby.
65,000 pages of documents related from Epstein.
You.
released.
Oh,
What have my Democrat
yeah.
colleagues done? They selectively leaked and altered documents to mislead the
Now
American
Gary's
people.
saying.
President Trump has stated.
Gary's
Nothing to hide,
saying you
nothing to
and
hide.
Trump suck.
Voting to release the
Well, now
files
you
so that we
who
can
you
move on
who's
with the
you,
smear campaign
Gary?
the
What are we
Democrats
talking
have
about?
manufactured. God bless
all right.
Gentleman's
Donald J.
time has
Trump.
expired.
Sometimes
Gentleman from Maryland is
people,
recognized.
the shorthand
Further
in
bills?
comment can lead to
Gentleman
misinterpretations.
Gentleman from
Yeah,
Ohio
we
is
do not like Trump
recognized.
here.
All right. How much time do I have?
You have 2
But
minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I want to thank all of America for tuning in to this. I want to
Now, you do need to remind them about the indoor voice rule too.
Representative Green, all of those who have insisted.
well, I can always
upon
edit that
bringing the
out.
truth forward
You know, I'm putting these comments on the screen, but they're only showing the
They're
first
not-
two, which were mine. I can't figure out
And
why.
I
it's
can't
not
see it on the side where I normally see them, so it might be because you got C-SPAN up.
For the victims, for the survivors.
Well,
who have come
I've got it.
forward
I've
to
clicked
say
show
that the
on
voice of the
stage.
victims and the survivors
Yeah.
I don't know.
must be put at the very center of our deliberations.
On mine, I've got
Subordinated, but
Raskin on both sides of you.
people who themselves were victimized by this nightmare.
Well, I guess showing the comments on stage, I'll have to do some work on figuring out how that works.
Partisan contest.
Yeah.
I haven't heard so
That's
much
a
talk
feature
about
they've only
Democrats
recently
at the
added,
Democratic
but
National Convention.
don't
And
really
all that we've done here is
see
to
how
say
it works.
we want to bring the
This
truth
Oh,
vote's
did you-
supposed to.
along with a
Did you read
bipartisan
Buffett's
we don't want the
Thanksgiving
Senate monkeying
message?
around with this in order to slow
Who's?
things
Oh,
down.
Warren
We
Buffett.
wanted
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. He always does those,
And
doesn't he?
before that,
Well, this was his last one.
and he wants to
Yeah.
see All of this
And it,
comes
it
right
was
in
very
kicking in
moving and
now,
talking
instead of
about
fighting, kicking, and
uh,
screaming every step along the
basically
way.
the
What
last
these
of
data
his
show,
money
and I
that's
hope we
going
maintain
into
constant
various foundations
the vast majority of the American
as
people
he
Yeah.
turned
want to see
and
that
being 95 and reminiscing
at it, the administration
about
could
his path
reconsider
in
more
life. It was
affordable policies,
it's
gutting
long, but
federal
it's well
office-based
worth
programs
reading.
designed to
Huh.
combat violence against women. The DOJ terminated hundreds of grants to police
But it's nice to
departments,
see someone
defunding the
at
police department
95
accused of
with the
investigating
brain still
crimes.
working that well.
His Doge destroyed programs.
Yeah, I
to combat
noticed.
international
One
human
thing I
trafficking.
noticed is
Let's get back on the side of the
he's
women.
not leaving
I
a
yield
whole
back.
bunch of
Gentleman
money to
yields
his
back.
kids.
Gentleman from
It seems
Ohio.
like
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I'm sure they'll
Mr.
be
Speaker,
comfortable.
Speaker Johnson said it right.
But
Well,
he's
oh
not.
yeah, he talks about them being well set for life, and the money went to various foundations that are being run by his children. So
Said he was not involved with the dossier.
Yeah.
Only problem is Tulsi Gabbard declassified a report.
yeah, his children are not hurting.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about
Mr.
him.
Brennan said we shouldn't include this in the report, and John Brennan's response was, "Yeah, but doesn't."
No, he seems to have raised them right. The billions go where it can do the most good.
Same dynamic at work here.
He still lives in the house he bought 50, almost 60 years ago.
Yeah, he really is.
Obsession with the
He
left.
really is a
10
piece of
years
work.
Going after President Trump.
Oh, here comes Blue.
Make sure the bad guys are
Hi,
helping.
Hey,
Blue.
Blue.
Hi.
Speaker Johnson's right.
I just had your
what they're doing because they
thing about Epstein's brother up here that we thought was very interesting.
Yeah. It's like, why isn't he a part of any of this? If all of this documentation's in the Epstein estate and he's got access to it and he seems to
Yeah.
know stuff or says he knows stuff, I can see he's probably afraid because he had the second autopsy done on his brother that showed that he was probably more than likely killed and not didn't do himself in.
Yeah.
So, I can see that he'd be afraid, but they should be afraid of him at all because I'm guessing he's got a kill switch on anything he's got that would go out worldwide. You know what I mean? I would. I would. It would be like the second something happened to me, I would make sure it was everywhere.
Yeah, well, here's what he said to the nation here in this thing you put up earlier, the News Nation. The reason they're going to be releasing these things, the reason for the flip is that they're sanitizing these files. Now, here I get suspicious when people say something like this. There's a facility in Winchester, Virginia, where they're scrubbing the files to take Republican names out. That always rings a conspiracy theory
That's so
alarm in my head.
But it's so specific.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what
what I
makes
would
me.
say.
That actually is what makes me suspicious when I it's like the Pizzagate thing. There's a basement in Arlington where this, that, and the other.
But did somebody tip him off? Does he have ties to somebody and did somebody tip him off?
Yeah, that would I would wonder if News Nation, let's go see the article that this comes from.
But I mean, are you going to believe him or the president who calls news people piggy?
Yeah, I'm waiting for somebody to push him over the edge and have him just go full blown ketchup on the walls crazy on camera.
Apparently it has happened off camera.
Yeah, but I want it on camera so worldwide so people can see what a loony is.
Well, now there's his brother. He looks like somebody. What does he look? He looks like somebody.
Stanley Tucci.
His brother.
He looks like Stanley Tucci.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to see if anybody asked him what. So I'm just looking to see if this article gets into where this guy got his information. TMZ.
Put Ronan Farrow on
It
the case.
was said from a source.
Well, I was going to say put Ronan Farrow on the case because he seems to have enough. He seems to be like a real journalist and have a lot of connections and be able. I mean, he finds some good stuff.
Yeah. Well, this is what drives me down. Just the journalist in me. I mean, it's like you write a headline like this: GOP sanitizing names from files. Okay, all right, that qualifies as something we want to believe.
Okay, that's a TMZ headline, though. I think.
Well, that's what this article. That's what this quotes from him are coming from.
But from TMZ,
Epstein's brother.
But
See,
then
here's where
I
he
think
says,
the other was in News Nation, right?
All right. Here's where TMZ says in an interview on News Nation. Now, when I put this stuff up, can you see it? Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
And so he says here in News Nation. All right. Here's where he says in Westchester. Okay. So now we'll dig. This is the journey I often make. Okay, now we'll go to News Nation where this was originally said and see if anybody asked him where he got that. Or maybe the whole interview's on here. Is this just an ad right here? Or is this an interview? Anyway, alleges FBI cover up. Okay, there's a facility in West Winchester, Virginia, where they're scrubbing the files. Okay. All right. They just quote him, and no one asks him, where did you hear that?
How do you know? Well,
that's a simple question.
Yeah.
I don't know if this right here is just an ad, or I guess that was an ad. Okay. Anyway, I go through this all the time. I mean, I just want to know your source, people. Give me a source, something. I mean, when it's something you want to believe, you're less critical about the sourcing.
Yeah.
I would like to believe they're scrubbing
a war with
the
Montauk
files in
right
Winchester,
now.
Virginia. But I'd also like to see
He has done terrible things to all of us. Did me tell you to say that you slept with Jesse? She's still trying to ruin my life. It's obvious that you're lying. Okay, now you're questioning me. This could ruin Jesse's reputation. Just go. Don't entertain this. I'm absolutely not backing down. There's no world where she can be back in mom's home. I feel like a storm's coming.
Mormon wives. An ad for Mormon wives, I think.
Get this stuff off. I don't know. Go back, see what. Oh, they're actually voting now. Okay, let's get the vote up.
Okay, I'll come back and look at that. I was trying to find News Nation.
Yeah, I just did. It wasn't much help. They quoted him, and I was looking
for the video. Actual interview.
I was looking for the video of the actual interview, and the only click they had on there was to an ad. So
I'm gonna go look for some information. I'll be back.
All right. Yeah, let's get some information. That's what we need. We need information.
I'm with you. I want to see something direct from that horse's mouth.
Yeah.
How's the vote going here?
All right. C-SPAN, you got it on the screen, but you've
already got over 50 Republicans.
Yeah, there it is, over 50. Before Trump gave them the green light, that was my watershed. I thought if they got 50 votes, then it would be a loss for Trump. But he's now complicated that interpretation, having
he got around to it. He ran in a circle and got in front of the parade.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And but like I've been trying to point out today, there's a big loophole in that where he says anything there, he'll release anything that Congress is legally entitled to.
Yeah, I think your problem with the comments is that you've got a double screen on when I look at the the site watching it.
Yeah.
Everything everything in the middle with you and me and C-SPAN is
Yes, you should be
duplicated
off
over
to the
to the
side.
left.
Well, I
Yeah.
don't actually have the comments up there right now. Let me put them back up.
And the comments normally are over on the right, but that whole side is missing.
Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene earlier today was
I have
showing
no
a
idea.
video of her standing.
I mean, here's the
They had a news
comments
conference
again, but
with survivors of abuse by Jeffrey Epstein, and at that news conference,
but I can't
Marjorie
get them
Taylor
to
Greene
scroll.
said,
They're just stuck on the first two comments.
debate
Yeah,
has
it's
Yeah,
caused the
they haven't
MAGA
they
movement
haven't
to
perfected
rip
that little
apart.
dealio yet.
What
and,
does she mean?
and I've got this double image. So
Is the Epstein files, the release of the Epstein files was an animated.
Because what we should have is you and me on the left side, and then C-SPAN
on the right, yeah.
on the right.
Republican Party and parts of it said.
Well, the central screen that I have, that's how it is. It's you and me on the left and
Yeah.
C-SPAN on the right. But then all the way over to the farther left, it's duplicated with you and me on the far left and in a
Oh, I know
smaller
what you're
image.
seeing. I know what
Yeah.
you're seeing. They've started doing a portrait version and a landscape version. So if somebody's using their phone, that slender vertical screen is for phones,
Oh.
and then the wide screen is for desktops. And this is something they just recently started, and I think it's creating more confusion. I think maybe I won't use that feature the next time we do this because
because
it's created issues that
I guess they consider my Kindle a laptop. All right.
they might. I don't know how they read Kindles anymore. I think they may not know how to categorize them. But
well, it is sort of.
it's kind of
big Fire tablet is anyway.
Yeah, I would think it'd be considered more of a laptop
because it's got a full keyboard and everything.
Yeah, I did this video earlier with the little caveat that Trump got.
Trump sudden go ahead and release the records message isn't the shift that it looks like, especially with the House vote just hours away. The fine print gives it away. He says the committee can have whatever they're legally entitled to. That's the setup for his next move. He's already ordered investigations into Democrats that don't include himself. And once those are in motion, he can argue nothing gets released during an active probe. It's the same play he's used on his tax returns, the Russia files, the JFK documents. The tactic hasn't changed, just the timing.
Now, does the estate have stuff that was not grabbed by the FBI?
Oh, the Epstein estate.
They
had, there is stuff that. Well, actually, I shouldn't answer that directly because we really don't know. But the FBI did. I don't think they searched the estate or seized anything. They just requested documents that the estate shared. But like those emails that we just recently got into, that all came from the estate, not the FBI files.
Right. I'm just wondering if there isn't more that they could drop. Oh, I'm looking up MSNBC. So we're at 92 and 94. And no nays yet.
Let's see.
Yeah, so suspension bills
There was some talk I heard in the debate earlier. I think they've decided they want to just make it unanimous. And I think that might be what's going on. Is they're going to, I don't know what kind of PR strategy that's going to be, but they want to prove that the Republicans are for transparency. But what I'm trying to get people focused on is that this is not so as transparent as it looks, because he's got this little caveat, which I didn't know, but Pogo pointed out, is actually in this bill they're voting on right now. That what
Right.
it calls on is it directs the administration to give the Congress
But
any.
didn't the Democrats write this bill?
Yeah. And it calls on the House Oversight Committee can have whatever they are legally entitled to. Now, I don't know who put that phrase in the bill, but now that it's in there and this is what they're voting on, it gives Trump an escape hatch to say, well, you're not legally entitled to the records because it's an ongoing investigation. That connects, you connect this dot back to the dot a week or so ago when he had Pam Bondi launch the investigation of Clinton and Wall Streeters.
I'm wondering if that line wasn't how they got the 5 GOP to sign the.
Except that Trump was opposing it at the time. So I mean, you know, this little escape hatch was always in there. Trump could have done what he's doing right now a long time ago.
Oh yeah,
been saved. I mean, once he actually ordered that investigation of the Democrats. You know, now that investigation's online, they're going to have that argument that they don't have to release the files because there's an ongoing investigation, and therefore Congress is not legally entitled to them. So but see, here's the bottom line: I want the cover up to succeed. That's what I keep saying. This is a good thing because the more they play games, and good Lord, is this ever a technicality circus? I mean, of legally entitled. I mean, the more they look like they're desperately hiding these records, the less enthusiastic MAGA is going to be about turning up in the midterms. And that's from day one been my focus on this whole story.
I, on the other hand, want to know all the itty bitty dirty details.
Right.
I mean, if we're talking about a global sex trafficking ring,
yeah,
then those names need to be hollered.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't disagree. Oh, here. Yeah, you're right.
What he did in terms of
MS Now has a better screen here for looking at the numbers.
Yeah.
I'll move that
and
over.
I say this from reading what I've read.
I'm on a mad on MS Now because it's my usual political channel that I watch. And I refuse to pay $45 a month just to watch one channel.
Now, why would you have to do that?
Because the only streamer that carries it live, the cheapest one is Sling at $45 a month, and the others are even more expensive, $80 and up. And CNN had the good sense they now have a $10 a month version of CNN that you can subscribe to individually away from the streamers.
Yeah.
And MS Now hasn't done that yet.
Yeah. Huh. Because I'm
guessing it's because the streamers are paying them to be there, because otherwise they're, for the most part, they're all junk channels.
There's only one vote against it so far, and that's a Democrat. Look at that. Wonder who that is. What's
Maybe
going on
it's someone like you who's reading the fine print.
Yeah, they're doing what I had not heard this until the debate started a couple hours ago, and I heard one of the Democrats say that they assumed that the Republicans were going to try to make it unanimous. So that's going to be their thing, to show that how committed to transparency is all the Republicans. Everybody's for it. The mind game this is. It's like, okay, everybody's for transparency. Okay, then Donald Trump released the files. We don't even have to have this vote. He could release them right now.
Like I mentioned when we were chatting the other day, I'm rereading a whole lot of Robert Heinlein.
Yeah.
It is amazing how prescient that man was. He died over 40 years ago, I think now.
How does he connect to?
Well, his view of politics and the way that it operates is so clear cut. You really should read some of his stories, but the best one for his short stories and to see the things that he predicted would exist. But he claims that he claimed at the time that he wasn't a prophet, that he was more of an extrapolator, that's the way things would go.
Yeah.
I'm just sorry he didn't have, unfortunately, he had moon settlements in 2020, by 2020. In 1940, he was saying there would be settlements on the moon in 2020. And of course, we hadn't even had a moon landing yet.
Well, given that we did land on the moon in the late 60s, we had time to do that by 2020. We just lost the will.
But I'll put a link up to the Notebooks of Lazarus Long for you, and you'll get a feeling, because they're all like little quotes that he said about politics and people.
Oh, yeah.
That are, and you read them and you go, I was just thinking about like that yesterday, only it was written 50 years ago.
To get them out there, it's not clear. And has lashed out at two
I want
female
to see if
reporters
any of
in
these pundits are trying to figure out what's going on with this unanimous vote they're
Donald
heading.
Trump's own explanation of his break with Jeffrey Epstein has also morphed should be troubling to us. The original explanation was that Donald Trump said he was trying to poach employees at Mar-a-Lago. Now he says, I broke with him because he was a sick pervert. Well, my question to the president is, if he's a sick pervert, why didn't you say something?
Yeah.
That's not criminal, but that's certainly complicity.
Yeah, I mean, if you thought it was so gross, why not raise the alarm? And then also, why put in the labor secretary, who's the prosecutor who made the sweetheart deal with Jeffrey Epstein? Why make him your labor secretary?
That's my question. That's my question.
There's so much unknown about the relationship that it just raises more questions. It allows this story to fester.
We still don't know how that man got in Trump's cabinet.
He's right. These questions just create more questions.
Left to cast their vote. As of now, it is unanimous. 407.
Yeah, what is the deal with this unanimous?
And Democrats saying yes to releasing the Epstein.
Oh, now there's one.
There's another no on your screen.
Republicans
right now,
saying
again,
no.
I would take that with a grain of salt because we've seen a few no's.
That Democrat who voted no is gone now. There are no Democrats
voting no.
voting no.
Is closed. Lawmakers are allowed to change their minds, so keep an eye on it. We do.
Of course, sometimes they push the wrong button.
More minutes. In fact, why don't
that
I go
actually
to the source
happens.
on this? Ali Vitale, how much longer is this going to last?
It'll last until whenever they decide to gavel it out. I do think that if the speaker was talking about this being unanimous, that he's going to make sure that everyone who's here has a chance to actually vote.
Yeah, I
want
to hear
some of the no votes that
discussion
have
about why they decided
One
to do
of them
that.
was Ronnie Jackson of Texas, who came out here just a few moments ago and said, yeah, I made a mistake. I rolled back my vote. And so it's music to my ears every single time you say the vote isn't done.
If they're going to say, okay, all the Republicans voted to release the files and then Trump still doesn't release the files, what's the next step in this?
Lingering on the screen.
Of course, I don't think they're playing chess.
We've seen those change in the past, but
I don't
think
they're
still
thinking
has
about
to
next
go to
step.
the Senate. So what's the Senate going to do?
Is going to chase this member to see.
This puts more pressure on the Senate to at least put it up for a vote.
If he just, like some of his colleagues
if it's a
before him,
unanimous House,
hit the wrong button as he was trying to cast his vote. But ultimately, I think what's important here is you're well over that 2/3.
So that's what you got is you got,
which was needed to pass this bill. It's
you
not
can see
the
this
typical
playing
way that
out.
we talk about it.
This
It's not the simple
dude
majority,
puts it up
but
for a
it is
vote.
the
It passes
two-thirds
the
majority
Senate.
because they're doing
Trump
this through a
signs it,
mechanism called suspension.
and then says,
It
"Oh,
just means that it's not governed by a rule.
ongoing
That's typically the way
pending
every other bill
investigation.
moves to the
We
floor.
got to wait
This
until
was something that the speaker put on
that's over."
on a faster timeline. He didn't wait for
I
the
don't think
discharge
MAGA's going
petition
to buy
to
that.
fully ripen after it got 218 signatures. The speaker basically said,
And I don't
okay,
think
the
those
folks who
survivors are
want
going
this are
to
going to
hold
get it,
back
and I'm
their
going to move
lists
it up
for
as fast
too
as I
long.
can. And then, of course, over the
I
weekend,
mean,
we watched the
good
White House
old Randy Andy shouldn't be the only one getting punished.
in town, Katie, frankly, after
Yeah.
they reopened the government in the middle
Well,
and
and I
end
saw
of last week. Many Republicans who I was
who's
speaking
the
to,
Harvard
rank and
guy,
file
the former
members who were
Harvard
nowhere near
president,
signing this discharge petition, were starting to tell me that they were likely
the
to
former
vote
Treasury
yes on this
Secretary.
whenever it came
Not
to the
no.
floor. Obviously, those members
on the
were all
list.
having conversations with leadership. They were all having conversations with the speaker,
Democrat.
making him aware of their plans.
Oh, I forget his name.
It's partly why I imagine you saw such a massive wave of reversal, not just from House Republican leadership, but then also from those in the White House who could very much see the writing on the wall. And so again, I'll keep you posted on that one no vote as it exists right now. Our producer Seda is in the chamber, and that no vote right now is Clay Higgins, a Republican, very conservative member. We're going to see if we can't find him as he either leaves the floor or tries to walk out of this building, and see if we can't get an explanation on that. But I will keep you posted as we get it.
So we're waiting. It looks like they're getting close to gaveling out of this thing. There are 7 lawmakers who have not yet voted. Again, Clay Higgins remains.
They're probably leaning on it
that changes
because they clearly want to have this
saying,
argument that Republicans were unanimous for transparency, and now this one guy's holding them up.
Now down
Clay
to
Higgins.
5. Ali, the speaker, is he going to nod to the gentleman sitting up on the dais to tell him when to close it? And that again is that the president of the House, or is he? What's his official title?
You know, I like the new graphics on this MS now.
See what you're seeing right now.
So do I.
At the bottom of the screen, they're nice
really
and
be
big
and when this vote is
easy to
over.
read.
He will be
I
including whether or not those lingering 5 members have cast their ballot. There usually is a sense of attendance issues, if there are any. I haven't heard any of those whispers. So
I've signed up
today,
for all the ones over there that are writing blogs, and of course, the day after I can watch
so I'll keep
the
tracking that.
what
But yeah,
was
I mean,
live
this vote will
on
end when it ends. I mean, whether the speaker nods to whoever is sitting in the
YouTube.
chair.
But
Again, I'm sorry, I can't see what's happening.
They have a YouTube channel.
yes, I know, but it's the day after the day before, after it's already aired.
Is going
You
to
can
happen next in the
see it,
Senate.
but not while it's live.
Beyond unanimous consent to get this bill.
If you want it live, you have to pay.
It pretty much takes unanimous consent to move anything.
Yeah,
quickly.
I
Let's
think
be
they'll
clear.
probably figure out a
So
way to
it
make
really
that
is gonna be
easier
up to
because
June. And,
they
you
got to
know,
worry
if
more
the
about getting an
Democrats,
audience right
are
now than
happy,
making money.
they can try.
Right, and they've got their web page. You would think they could.
We all heard a Trump.
Right now, it has a timer on it,
So I would ask
like about 9 minutes of live.
was a pervert,
And then you've got to be on a streamer. How about being able to subscribe to the page?
And what does that make Trump for treating a pervert? Because that's what she was, because she was his partner in crime. How could he treat her the way he's treating her, like a princess? So he's in big trouble. He's in big trouble. But as for the Senate,
Like I said, their money source might be the streamers themselves.
it's going to have to be unanimous consent.
Yeah, they pay them like per.
So that they've got a news site on it. Or if someone would just create an all news streamer, I might be tempted, with Reuters and MSNBC and CNN.
Oh, they're gaveling it closed.
The bill is passed, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
That's it.
So they added up with one vote against it. Interesting, this unanimous thing. I didn't see that coming. So now Well, now they can say this wasn't a loss for Trump. But then, like I say, so now what happens? Is he going to go ahead and release the files now? I mean,
No, now it has to go to the Senate. Unless he does, he could just release the files, but
yeah, I
this
mean,
has
none of
to
this
go to
has to
the
happen.
Senate.
Okay,
This
so
vote
Pat,
right now didn't have to happen. He could just
the
release
Epstein
the files. I mean,
the release of the Epstein files has passed the House. It will now
but
go
now
to the
this
Senate.
is
It
going to
was
make people think,
327 to
you know,
1.
that he has to release the
So
files,
not
and then he's
unanimous,
not going
as
to do
Speaker
it,
Mike
and
Johnson predicted
MAGA
it
still
would be,
isn't
but pretty
satisfied.
close.
That's where
Brendan,
I see
what's
it
the deal
going.
with Clay Higgins?
It's a great question. I don't know. He's
I
a bit
ain't
of a
worried
quirky
about Clay
member,
Higgins.
somebody who kind of does his own thing.
Well, there's that.
That he would be the type
That's
of
the surprise of the
but I'm sure a lot of people will be
House Epstein vote is the Republicans made a decision to go unanimous.
very rare that you get something of any
Yeah, and as you said, Trump isn't going to release them because of that Weasley little clause. He's going to say, well, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Because of ongoing cases. So.
And see, that's the kind of thing that'll work with the middle of the road American
Right.
voter who's barely paying attention. They say, "Oh, well, that makes sense," you know. And but the people who are really into this, and it's not all of MAGA, but that chunk of MAGA that wants these files released, they're just going to see this as more game, just more elites protecting elites, you know, with technicalities. I mean,
Right.
So I don't think
only
this
now
makes
Trump
no
is among the elites.
Yeah.
For some reason, that always kind of irked me when someone would say, you know, I was one of the elites. I guess it's somebody with a functional brain.
We got Blue back. Did you go get some information?
Well, I posted a few things, but some of it is older information. Apparently, there was a whistleblower that went to Dick Durbin's office about them scrubbing the files back in July, and then there's some I don't know if she's a journalist. I like her last name is Gill. I posted her thing. She has a Substack. She went and she is gotten information apparently from data analysts and how haphazard they were. They were like in panic mode. And then I looked up just like, where do you data scrub? And apparently there's data scrubbing services in Winchester, Virginia, but I can't imagine that they would outsource that to a non-government agency though. But I looked it up anyway. So
yeah, I see. I'm looking. I've got your post up here from Trail Mix. It's like,
but the very first one was kind of interesting. It's a very long article. I didn't put it all out in clips, but it was interesting.
So there is a data scrubbing service in Winchester.
Well, there's many. I think any IT service can do that. I think any IT company can do that, but and then it gave a list and it was like I just didn't add that, but that was the information that came from the AI thing. So I can't imagine though that they would outsource that. That doesn't seem like something they would outsource. So I was looking to see if there was some sort of a government entity there, but like Doge has closed so many places and messed with things. So I don't know, or if that would even be like a secret that we have it. So I don't know. But I just
so that they passed it almost unanimous, had one vote against it. So now I'm trying to figure out what I'd heard earlier in the day this was going to happen, but this strategy of Republicans to make it unanimous, what are they thinking there? What are they gaming here?
We have nothing to hide. Look at us. We all voted for it.
Yeah.
But now it's going to be who was the one no vote?
Clay Higgins.
Who the hell? I don't know who that is.
Oh, that is. But the thing is, okay, we have nothing to hide. All Republicans are in favor of releasing the files, and then Trump still doesn't do it. I mean, it was what have they accomplished? I mean, I don't get it.
Yeah. I don't know. I just saw an ABC reporter ask Trump and that idiot from Saudi Arabia that killed the journalists, and she asked a couple of tough questions, and he went after her. Where are you with? Fake
Oh
news,
yeah,
fake news, fake news. He was like,
well, that was the ABC reporter, and then he said then he started threatening their license.
He just said fake news, fake news, fake news. You're the worst, fake news. He's like, okay, it's getting old.
Yeah.
You can tell when he's cornered now.
Yeah.
So.
Huh.
Anyway, you two chat. I am departing. Thank you, Blue,
Well,
for everything you look
that's
up.
about it. I just wanted to get through the vote. Now I've got to go try and figure out the puzzle for me now is what was their thinking in making it unanimous? I mean, you're right, Blue. I think that's part of it. But Jack's come in just
Jack.
Hey, hi, Jack. I was just about ready to leave.
We're about to wrap things up. We got the vote done, and the big question is, why did they decide to make it unanimous? I mean, every Republican except for one voted to release the files.
Interesting. So does this make Trump weaker or stronger?
Well, the thing that I don't understand is, okay, now, I mean, Blue was saying here that now they can say, look, we're the party of transparency. We were unanimous in favor of releasing the file. But then the next move is Trump still doesn't release the file. So what has been accomplished?
The Senate still has to vote on it, and then Trump still has to actually do it.
Yeah. But the thing is, Trump doesn't have to wait for the Senate. Now that the House is unanimously voted, I mean, he didn't even have to wait for that. He can release them this very minute, right now, if he wants.
Oh, well.
I mean, this is like a mind twist. I mean,
it was going to be a bad vote for him.
Yeah.
That's why he caved.
Maybe so. That if 100, and he's saying, it's like you didn't do that to me. I made you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's exactly.
Maybe.
Well, it's like Jamie said earlier. You get up, you get in front of the crowd and call it a parade.
Mm-hmm.
I'm leading the parade now.
Yeah, that's it. That makes more sense. But
I don't see how it works with the MAGA people who've been clamoring for this, that chunk of the MAGA that wants these files released. I don't see how that's accomplishing anything with them. It's just going to look like more maneuvering and elites protecting elite if he doesn't actually release the files.
Well, he'll release something.
I was reading something earlier today. They're making the point that we're quickly hitting the point where these Republicans can be more independent because the dates to file, to file a primary against them are quickly closing.
Oh, the filing deadlines. Yeah, they probably are coming up.
And so
wow, 20. So the midterms are getting that close. We're already getting to filing deadlines. Wow.
Yeah. And so they can be more independent here pretty quick.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot more difficult to get a candidate to run against them.
So maybe that's their thinking, is that they can go into the campaigns and fire up their MAGA supporters saying, look, we voted to release the files, and they could even throw Trump under the bus and say, look, I voted for it. I wanted this. But Trump's not doing it. I can't control that. You still got to vote for me.
They all voted for the big ugly bill that took away their Medicaid and Medicare and SNAP and healthcare and all this stuff. So there's no way to undo that. I mean,
but that's not gonna hurt them in the primary.
No, that'll hurt them in the general though. But
yeah, now that's starting to gel in my mind as they're thinking, is that if you look at it in the context that they actually can blame Trump, they can, with this vote today, they could say I voted to release the files. Go ask Trump why you're not getting them.
Yeah. But of course, Donald Trump's not going to like that.
No.
he doesn't even understand that.
well, didn't he already admonish them basically and say, if you still want these files, I don't want anything to do. Didn't he throw them all to the, kick all the voters to the curb who still wanted them and said, if you want these released, you're not MAGA or whatever. You're not really MAGA, or you're not on my side. And he already did that once.
Yeah, and called it a hoax and everything.
Yeah. I mean,
but his excuse.
He said that directly to his voters, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like I said yesterday. It's interesting politics on this one. That you've got two groups, both certain. One of them certain that we're going to catch Democrats, and one of them certain that we're going to catch Trump.
Yeah.
I think it just.
And then you got the whole dynamic of Republican members of the House trying to figure out how to game this so that the MAGA voters who care about the Epstein case don't vote against them or don't get unenthusiastic about showing up at the polls.
Yeah,
and that's what this vote today might have been about.
I don't know. Hey, politics, you gotta love it. Beats football.
Because the thing is, Trump can, he's got this angle of, even if he agrees, if the Senate votes and they say he can still, he's created this escape hatch on where he said it in his Truth Social post that Congress can have whatever they are legally entitled to. And what that sets up is, you connect that dot to the dot where he ordered that investigation of Clinton and the Wall Streeters associations with Epstein. Now there's an ongoing investigation, which he could say means that he can't release that the Congress is not legally entitled to the records because there's an ongoing investigation. I mean, that's obviously what they're setting up here.
Well, the problem is he's got Marjorie Taylor Greene out there talking.
Yep. Now that's the next person I want to hear from right now. I want to see what she's going to say if it turns out Trump's still not going to release the files, even though they had this unanimous vote.
Oh, well. Well, I will let you all have been chatting for quite some time, so I will let you all go.
Yeah.
All right, I think we rolled this one up the
all
mountain.
Right.
Okay,
later. Bye.
A tip or two. All right.
Okay, I'm Lady Mau Mau, Craig's built-in emergency brake. If this wasn't enough for you, sign up for the newsletter. It's free, it's thoughtful, and it occasionally makes sense.